a number of years as well. So I think that is something that everyone will be looking forward to seeing her. We wish her all the best as the players take a knee.
So we are underway here at the Rivermead Leisure Complex. A big game for the Reading Rockets, of course, losing yesterday to the Cardiff Met Archers just down the road at JMA. Here is the first possession. Here is Nunes to Ford. Inside to Maxwell, and Cameron Taylor-Willis deflects that out of bounds. It will be a Reading ball. Of course, following on from this game, big NBL Division 1 clash between the Rockets and the Derby Trailblazers in the fight for playoff spots intensifies. Nunes almost had it stolen by Cameron Taylor-Willis. A scoop layup is no good, and Bellenby with the rebound. Here is Goodser. Goodser driving. Liv Forster, who's having a stellar season at only 16 years of age. Ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with Ipswich. Goodson nearly lost it. Bellenby backing down. 3 to shoot. Liv Forster with a huge 3, just short. And here is Carmena Nunes. Inside to Del Margolina, inside to Maxwell off the glass. First score for the Rockets.
Great to see, isn't it? Second touch for Heather. Had a broken couple of seasons with injuries, and she'll be relishing her last season here before she heads off to university.
Olivia Forster, another 3. This time she connects. And Liv Forster, who had an excellent game last week against Loughborough, 4 for 9 from downtown in the win over Loughborough. 27 points off the mark today. Here's Maxwell. Ford driving off the back iron, and Cameron Taylor-Willis with the rebound. Bates for 3, and that's off back iron.
I tell you, John, Bates hit 12 threes in the game at their place, and I think it's an NBL record.
Maxwell goes glass from the foul line. That's good for 2. Taylor-Willis driving inside. Nice pass to Bellenby, blows the layup. And Margolina with the rebound. Frantic start here. Here's a dot. A dot gets it back. Was wide open there. Ford inside to Maxwell, and the cutting and dot couldn't quite get it. Here is Goodser. Transition basketball from Ipswich, and Forster misses the layup. So far, Ipswich do want to push the ball in transition, but the final product just not coming good. Here is a dot.
I think those guys that when we're watching, you're going to see this Ipswich zone a lot as well. They've started in it. They played a game yesterday. I think Coach Drain favours this type of defence regularly. It forces the other teams to beat you from the perimeter, especially when they've got such long inside presence like Taylor-Willis. So keep an eye on that, budding young coaches as they try to find the ball out of the Wilson sign, which always adds some cheer, doesn't it? But keep an eye on that. Always interested to see how teams attack that. They'll want to be aggressive, Rockets, but both teams a little jaded from tough long games yesterday too. So a bit of toughness needed.
Absolutely. Ipswich with a near 380 mile round trip to Worcester, but thankfully they stayed in Reading last night, as Coach Drain alluded to in the pre-game. Carmena Nunes misses the 2. Big rebound from Margolina. Maxwell and Bellenby rebounds. So far, Reading struggling to get their mid-range game intact. Here is Cameron Taylor-Willis to Bates for 3, or that's a long 2, and she puts it in. And a quick timeout by Coach Luque. He's seen enough. as Ipswich take an 8-4 lead. And we saw yesterday in the win over the Worcester Wolves that, you know, Ipswich were given all the time in the world to shoot from downtown, and Cameron Taylor-Willis hitting a number of those shots. She hit 3 3-pointers for 13 first quarter points against Worcester. But right now, Ava Bates really showing her range from the field.
And I think when you're coaching teams like this, especially at this level, it's not necessarily the result of the shot. You're looking for getting their shot attempts down. And so right away, Liv Forster takes 2, 1 wide open. Bates gets 2 wide open looks. So coach is just going to be saying to him, I mean, it's not just having the strategy, you've got to have the energy as well and the anticipation. And you're talking about playing like some of the top shooters in the country where Coach Drain runs a lot of stuff for them to take a lot of threes. So you've got to be brave to take those away. And we'll see now straight out this timeout whether Coach Luque's made any subs or whether he's just calming everyone down and making a change. It's only a 4-point game, so no need to panic.
Absolutely, but so far Ipswich shooting 2 for 4 from three-point land, so they're hitting their strong points straight away. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, this is a young Ipswich team, a very new Ipswich team, but they're in the top 4, potential home court advantage in the playoffs, exceeding the expectations that they were thinking.
It's always better that way, isn't it, John?
Absolutely, absolutely. Here is Ford. And a foul has been called on the floor.
Good offense by Rockets, that one. Good timing, little ball screen on the top left guard. Luca did that straight out the timeout.
A dot from the corner, and that's no good. And Cameron Taylor-Willis collects the loose ball. Nearly stolen. In fact, it was stolen by Nunez, and she puts it in. As Candela Hermeda Nunez gets off the mark.
Captain Candela in her 4th, maybe 5th, actually.
4th season, yeah.
4th season.
The only player averaging double figures in scoring for the Rockets this season.
Yeah. Good knowledge, John. Excellent. Probably should know that, shouldn't I?
It's part of my job. Here is Ford. Nunez again. Drives inside, kicks it out. The extra pass to Ford for 3, and that's money. And the Rockets take a 9-8 lead. Here is Forster. Forster had it stripped by a dot. And here a dot goes all the way in transition, but Rockets will slow it down. Was 2-on-1 there.
Transition.
Nunez for 3. And Bates with the rebound.
Bit Golden State Warriors, that one, wasn't it?
Forster catch and shoot. That misses everything. As Liv Forster still trying to feel her rhythm from the field.
Yeah, I think Steph Curry's got a lot to answer for across the global game.
As Liv Forster takes a seat. She had 9 points in that first quarter against Loughborough last week, but a bit cold at the moment. She has hit 1 3-pointer, 1 for 4 from the field. As Hannah Gray checks in for Ipswich. Hannah Gray still taking her GCSEs at the moment, still in year 11. That just shows you the skill level and the maturity this Ipswich team have. As Bates collects the rebound off the miss from the Rockets. Here come Ipswich in transition with Goodser. Taylor-Willis for 3. Nearly got it to go. Instead it went in and out. Ford. A dot. And another steal from Ipswich. Here comes Cameron Taylor-Willis in transition, and she's going to go to the foul line.
Yeah, just point out as well the difference here, John. Ipswich are really comfortable shooting that 3. They've missed a couple of chippies under the rim, haven't they? But in terms of the way they're playing, the same thing. And then Reading on the other side, the Rockets have only made 1 3 from the attempts they've had. And the difference between having the guards being able to really be confident in shooting the ball and the offense then allowing it to happen. Jessie Ford's made one, she's wide open. Candela misses her on that last play. Makes all the difference as the game builds up across the minutes.
Absolutely, as Sahoa San Francisco comes in for the Rockets, and Cameron Taylor-Willis at the line, a a lady that's still an under 19 player. She's been with the Ipswich team since she was 10. She's been coached throughout the time she's been playing by Nick Drain, and she's come on leaps and bounds. Next season, we'll test the waters in the WBBL.
Yep, at Essex, fantastic. Got a lot of media story as well, which is nice to see. I think a lot of people are asking about.
Absolutely, and it's another top talent staying in the country as well, which is what we like to see. As Hannah Gray gets the rebound, and she drives all the way, the floater. And on the follow, I believe that was, Ozarobo. I couldn't quite see.
Yeah, I think you're right. Another
Ford.
good academy product.
Nunes gets bumped off glass. Cameron Taylor-Willis, another rebound. That's 4 rebounds for her, as Goodser will go to the line for Ipswich. Ipswich having no trouble getting the ball out in transition, and that's where they are the strongest, aren't they?
Yeah, a good spot as well. I think the shot selection for every team, and every coach will say to you, your best defense is your offense. And what we're actually saying is that if you're taking good shots on offense, you can be ready for defense, and vice versa as well. So Rockets have, Candella's forced up a couple of shots on contact, people on your body, not good looks, as they just turn it over.
Another steal, Bates with the steal, pulls up for 3 and off the back iron. Second chance opportunities again for Ipswich, and they're going to go back to the line. That's something that Coach Luque will really want to try and stem the bleeding.
Yeah, but, it's 9-all. It's 3 minutes to go in the first, and I think this is one of the things that, particularly the Rockets team of late, they're young and they've struggled, and they're without 2 or 3 of their players in nearly every game. They just need to be really strong with each other and just stay with it. People can come back from big deficits in all these divisions, and then they're fine. They just need to just settle in. They know what they're going to play against. This should be a good game.
3:07 remaining in the first. Tiana McKay into the game for the first time for the Rockets. Another 16-year-old guard. Plays more minutes for JMA in the WEABL than she would in the WNBL, but still a glimpse into the future in the number 5 for the Rockets.
T's done really well, and actually has had she's on minutes restrictions just through some soreness in the knees. So she's managing that, which is tough to do at 16 years old. And it's been a heavy lot of players on both senior teams getting injuries and little knocks.
Bates.
Well defended.
Bates, nice pass to Goodser inside. Beautiful pick and roll there from Ipswich.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ipswich really putting on the pressure with the full court, but Rockets beat it. Here is McKay, wide open 3.
Yep.
And that's off right.
Important for Ipswich trying to speed up the Rockets. They've got a couple of turnovers out of them. Coach Luque will try and keep the guards operating.
Both teams shooting around 30% from the field thus far.
Great save, good effort.
Here is McKay. McKay off to the races, but misses the layup. Maxwell battling under the basket. And Rockets will slow it down. Here is Maxwell again. Wide open, San Francisco in the corner.
Yeah, good offense, though.
Here is Nunes driving. Nunes fouled by Gray.
Good moments for Rockets there as well. 4 down, get yourself at the rim, 2 wide open threes, 2 offensive rebounds, good spirit.
Absolutely. So far for Ipswich's size, the rebounding numbers are still tied at 13 as Liv Forster comes back in. Saruna Goodser, who averages 10 points a game, will take a seat. San Francisco nearly stepped out of bounds there, but Maxwell collects. Bates with the steal.
Yeah.
But Nunes gets it back. Rockets will slow it down. Here is Ford. Nunes driving. Nunes getting into trouble. McKay wide open 3, misses everything. Cameron Taylor-Willis says thank you very much.
Great
but
job.
Good hustle there from McKay. And Rockets get it back, and a foul there. As Ozarobo, just a bit too enthusiastic, and gets her hands caught in the cookie jar, so the Rockets will get the ball back with 1:23 remaining in the first. Maxwell nearly had it stolen by Gray. Wide open in the corner. Nunes blows the three. Here is Liv Forster. And Liv Forster gets it stolen by Nunes, and Nunes all the way for two. Good defense and court awareness there from Hermina Nunes.
Yeah, experience, veteran, great effort, good energy as well. Missed a lot of shots, Candela, but fighting back defensively.
6 points now for Nunes on 3 for 10 shooting as we enter the final 40 seconds of the first. Here is Nunes again. San Francisco to Ford. McKay driving inside, kicks it out. The extra pass, San Francisco in the corner, splash.
I'm clapping that one, John.
Fantastic ball movement from the Rockets. And nearly a steal for San Francisco as Forster was driving. A great first quarter, though, from the Rockets, leading by 1 right now. And they have all the confidence in the world passing the ball, and the final product is absolutely outstanding right now. They are shooting 27% from the field.
Yeah, five made field goals and 3 of those assisted on, and that's fine. If they're defending well enough to stay in the game as well.
Shot clock is turned off now as Ipswich will get should get the last possession unless it's turned over. Here is Forster.
Team fouls for Rockets, so they need to be a little bit careful. We don't want to be giving up anything too cheap.
Forster turns the ball, nearly turned the ball over, but a foul was called. 4.3 remaining in the first.
Just had a flashback there, John. Cameron Taylor-Willis, I think, was 15. I believe she came in here and scored 15 points when she was 15 in a Division 1 game. Such a talented athlete, isn't it? Great to see.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing her in the WBBL, as you said earlier.
Absolutely, and it's a great step up for her. And speaking to Coach Drain, so proud of what she has accomplished since she was 10 as McKay on the buzzer hits the very top of the backboard, and that ends the first quarter. But for all the strengths Ipswich have, Reading are matching them blow for blow. They lead 14-13 at the end of the first quarter. Hermina Nunes and Heather Maxwell each with 4 points for Reading, and Ava Batiste leading all scorers with 7 for Ipswich. But a solid first quarter for Reading. It's just a case of keeping that going.
Yeah, and I think you can't get too lulled into saying, we've played good defence when the other team's only scored 13, because you can, but not if they've got 8 3-point attempts. So I think on another day that could be 4 for 8, and this could be a different scoreline. So Coach Luca will be just saying, we really got to work hard now on making sure that Ipswich don't get the shots we want. And Coach Nick Drain will be saying the same thing in his timeout. Do not let them. Really good view of the 3. And you were talking earlier about rebound as well. Lovely pick and roll as well, just over the outstretched arms of Maxwell. And I think she got a slight knock as well, I noticed in the back of my eye. Candela with a breakaway layup after that defence that you picked out. I think one of the things about rebounding, and it's an easy one to throw in there, but now rebounding is different to how it was 10 years ago, because the 3-point shot is so prevalent, so the distance of rebounds becomes more of a wing and a guard thing as well. So it's quite interesting to see when both teams shoot a lot from the perimeter, seeing how active the guards are at chasing rebounds down in these games. Absolutely.
A total of 18 3-pointers have been put up in that first quarter. 4 of them have connected, 2 each from Ipswich and Reading. But yeah, as you say, Reading have favoured the long-range shot a bit more in this first quarter. There were opportunities where they could go inside, but they decided to kick it out, the extra pass for 3.
Yeah.
As we get the second quarter underway, Ava Batiste, who herself attending the University of Essex this year, but playing for Ipswich just down the road. Taylor-Willis turning.
Great defence.
Good footwork, though, from Taylor-Willis.
Yeah, and there's Carlotta, number 4, Carlotta joined us this year, and just an undersized, terrific rebounder.
Absolutely.
Devereaux into the game. And Tyra Phelan into the game.
Tyra Phelan with an opening score straight off the bench.
Yep, 2 Academy girls.
Cameron Taylor-Willis on the ball. Nice pass to Bates. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Awareness there from Taylor-Willis. And Ava Bates says, thank you very much. I'll take some of that. Nunes to Luzon. Luzon got it stripped away, and Hannah Gray comes up with it. Nunes nearly stole it off her.
Yeah, another good hand there.
The veteran Nunes.
Well done by Devereaux. In the youngsters in the mix. I say the youngsters are all young, aren't they?
To us, they are, yes.
Let's keep age off this.
A dot to Nunes, wide open 3.
Yeah, she really wants to make one of those. If Candela starts making those against Worcester, she
another
makes 5
steal.
of them.
Margalena with the steal, and Dot just slowing it down for the Rockets. Here is Nunes. Some solid defense, especially at Ipswich's end of the court from Rockets, has led to numerous steals and scores and, second, third chance opportunities.
Yeah, tough call, I think, on Liv there. Actually, really good position. Interesting as well, isn't it? Referees now, and the game's changed so much in the last 5 to 10 years.
Speaking of Liv Forster, a huge candidate for Young Player of the Year for Ipswich. Of course, Esther Little won it last season, and Liv, who moved from Manchester earlier in the summer as Nunes hits the 2, moved from Manchester to Ipswich earlier in the summer and really excelling with Ipswich.
Yeah.
Here's Goodser. Nice footwork from Saruna Goodser, and gets the reward.
That's welcome to Division 1 from Goodser to Charlotte Devereaux. Gives her a little bit of extra footwork there.
Nunes.
Good look inside.
Inside it goes, and the hook is no good from Margalena. Bates nearly stolen away there from Phelan, but Goodser has it back. Forster was screaming for it there, but nothing doing. Inside to Bellenby, blocked, or nearly blocked by Phelan, and Yasser Bellenby will go to the foul line, and another player with WBBL experience there in Yasser Bellenby.
So we are live on NBL, so you're not allowed to say anything about refereeing, John, and I'm not either, but...
That was why you were holding my wrist. I get it.
But I'll make a semi-serious point. How great is it for it being an official now, where you can see your games on YouTube straight away?
Absolutely.
You've got such good review opportunities now for players, coaches and officials. No excuse for any of us now to not say we haven't reviewed our performances, including you and I. No pressure.
Me more so than you, but either way.
Admittedly.
Here is Nunes. Nunes going inside. Good defense from Bates, and a travel call. Great defense there from Ava Bates.
I think that has to be a jump ball for someone else with the hands on it.
Referee Pete Terrell in good position, and he called the travel. That's more for you.
I've got a replay
here. As an offensive foul has been called.
It's all going on.
On Yassin Bellenby. As Jessie Ford checks back into the game for the Rockets, and Candela Jimena Nunes takes a seat.
Yeah, Rockets would normally be subbing more. Jade Blackburn not available today, who you'll remember from many a BBL side.
Wide open 3 for Margalena, and Liv Forster with the rebound loses the ball. It will stay with the Rockets.
Liv disappointed with herself there, wasn't she? Frustrating when you just make those little mistakes.
Still only 16 years of age. It's hard to imagine playing in this environment with the skill set that she has, that she's still only 16 years of age. As Ipswich come away in transition, it's 2-on-1. Liv Forster back to Goodser, and Goodser misses the layup, and the Rockets come away with it. A bit of a let-off there for the hosts. Here is Ford.
Not quite sure where we're going here.
Ford going to the corner, and that automatically asks for trouble. Another steal, this time from Phelan, and the Rockets get a second bite of the cherry. Ford. Margalena, nice pass inside, and a nice score, nice finish.
Beautiful.
From Nahir and Dot.
Yeah. And Naya, I was just going to say, she's 17 years old. Charlotte Devereux, 16. Tyra, 17, 18 now. Jessie Ford, 18.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bates for three. She stepped out of bounds. Oof. Three will not count.
I'm not sure there's a better shooter than Bates in this division. I've got to say, John, every time I see her, when it leaves her fingers, it looks like it's just going to rip the bottom of the net.
One of the leaders in three-point percentage this season, shooting 34%.
Yeah, imagine if I knew those stats.
Absolutely. A native of Elgin, Oklahoma, Ava Bates in her first season here in Ipswich. As said, she studies at the University of Essex, but spends her weekends along the way in Suffolk. Here is Phelan, puts in a three, all string.
More threes going up, John.
Forster, great court awareness inside, and a foul. Beautiful play there from Alice Fallon to collect the pass from Forster and have enough know-how under the basket to put it in.
Yeah, and I think that's something to keep an eye on. I watched the Rockets yesterday, and they're trying to stay up the floor when they've got some scores, which is fine, but they really have to not give up any layups. You can't give up something as simple as that. You made a three and given up the old-fashioned three. Angela Bates says, that's my girl doing work. And you're absolutely right, Angela.
And she has been doing work in this game so far. Absolutely. 9 points, 3 for 5 shooting for Ava Bates. Here is Phelan. Phelan feeling it off the bank, but no good.
Yeah, a little bit excited, I think.
Here is Forster. Cameron Taylor-Willis at the top.
Oof.
Another offensive
Great rebound by Fallon.
Absolutely, another offensive rebound. That's 6 offensive rebounds for Ipswich. But they still trail by 2 with 4:46 remaining in the half.
What a great game, John. What a great game.
It has been very competitive so far. Definitely one for the defensive purists as Forster straight away for 3 as the shot clock wound down. Nunes nearly fouled by Forster, but referees letting the play continue. Ford nearly slipping on the floor. Nunes, 8 to shoot. Nunes.
Oh,
another rebound though. Margalena puts up a long 2. Well, that would have been a 3, excuse me.
Not entirely sure why she shot that one.
Taylor-Willis. Forster spins, scores.
And I think that's the broken play that we're talking about. Carlotta gets a great offensive rebound and shoots a 3 that she doesn't make very often. And then off go Ipswich in transition.
Nice pass inside to Phelan from Margalena, but nothing doing from Tyra Phelan. And Goods are slowing the play down. Forster driving, going under, and will go to the line for 2. Liv Forster, so far 1 of 5 from the field, but can attack the basket and can get to the free throw line at will. This will be her first trip, though, to the line today. Yeah,
and the irony, isn't it? We talked a lot about the three-point shot. We talk at all the club now, and coaches, Ben Fisher and Josh Thorne for us, who are leading the way with that, talking a lot about the three-point shot. We want everyone to be able to come out of their youth phase and be able to knock one down. Why? You've just seen it in Liv Forster, because you have to be close to her, and now she just uses a small hesitation, creates herself. If the shot's not going down, she gets herself 2 more from the line and to settle herself right into this game again. And
Absolutely.
there she goes.
A 70% foul shooter for the season, Liv Forster. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everyone. Reading and Ipswich currently tied at 23. Following on from this game, we'll be showcasing the Rockets against the Derby Trailblazers in NBL Division 1 action. That game scheduled to tip off at 5 p.m. Of course, barring any epic overtime periods in this game.
I didn't even think of that, John.
We'll see what happens, I guess. It's been a great game so far, as you alluded to, Matt. Coach Luque saying pre-game, as that three goes off the back iron, saying that every game now is like a final for the Rockets. Of course, next week they're playing Nottingham Trent University as Alice Fallon gets the 2 to go. And that'll be a huge game in the East Midlands for the Rockets, a must-win for them as they battle to escape the drop.
Yeah, and we said earlier, didn't we, Rockets just need to be patient. And I think one of the things we're picking out is Candela lines up another one. Carlotta eats up another offensive rebound.
Yeah, another offensive rebound, but a steal there as Hannah Gray with good court awareness there. Here is Fallon. Taylor Willis backing down. Up and under, layup is good. Timeout called by Coach Luque. He's seen enough, and Ipswich have raced to a 29-23 lead with 2:41 remaining.
Yeah, but I think if I'm Coach Luque saying you're within 6 with 2 minutes to go in the first half, you're saying that's all right. You've got a really different lineup. You're playing against a lot of zone, talented Ipswich roster, and you're 2 shots away. So I don't think he will be too disappointed. But what he will be disappointed about, he's got 8 turnovers against a set zone.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, coaches in tennis, if you keep hitting it into the net your own side, you're frustrated. If the opposition make you do stuff, you can kind of live with it. So I think that's something that Coach, I'm hoping, will be in those timeouts now going, right, if we can limit these turnovers, we're going to get better shots. Jessie Ford, I just noticed, was 1 for 1. Had only taken 1 3, yet 4 of the other girls who were much lower percentages than her have already taken more from the three-point line. So I think an offensive balance for Coach Luque is probably what he's looking for. And I think we've just seen Ipswich sneak out and get 2 or 4 there on the break. Just out running and out hustling. So interesting to see.
And for Cameron Taylor-Willis, 13 first quarter points.
Wow.
Against Worcester yesterday. That's her first field goal, though, of the day. 1 for 4 now from the field for Cameron Taylor-Willis.
13 in a quarter's going, something.
Absolutely. 3 3-pointers in that. In fact, I think Ipswich hit they were 3 for 4 from downtown, and Cameron Taylor-Willis hit all 3 of them.
Wow.
And we will not will not forget the air ball that followed that miss as well. But either way, she hit 3. That's what matters.
Different zone there. Ipswich went in the 1-3-1.
Nunes.
And
Nunes nearly, they lost it there as here is Hannah Gray. Fallon. Bellenby. Nice pass to Taylor Willis, who scores. Yeah. Beautiful pass from Yasser Bellenby.
Yeah, bad offense for Rockets. Got Ipswich out running.
Bellenby, another University of Essex student playing with Ipswich this season. Pull-up jumper is good. That's beautifully done from McKay.
Now Rockets need to stop the leak here.
1:43 remaining in the half. Goods are inside. Bellenby partially blocked there from Maxwell.
Yeah, Fallon, what a terrific offensive rebounder Alice Fallon's been.
8 to shoot. Bellenby off the glass. That's good.
Yeah, that's a great matchup there. Heather's longer, Bellenby stronger.
Averaging 8 points, 10 rebounds this season. Yasser Bellenby, what a fantastic addition she has been to Nick Drain's side. Here is McKay wide open. 2 back-to-back buckets for Tayana McKay.
Yeah, great pass as well. Good pass out of the post. Sorry, John.
Fallon for 3. That goes in and out. Big rebound from Gray. Misses the layup.
Oof. I'll tell you, Rockets have had some of these rebounds just pop off Ipswich hands and come to them. And they'll be saying thank you for that.
Absolutely. 4 to Maxwell. Maxwell was fouled. It's hard to imagine, Matt, that the majority of players in this game are all under 19 players.
Yeah,
it's really hard to imagine. I think only one player in the Reading Rockets team is over the age of 19.
2 of them on the floor at the moment, Carlotta and Candela.
Yep.
Candela just graduated uni, so she's 23.
And this is where I need you for this.
Yeah, but it's very good of you. You should always underage a lady, John, so you've done that extremely well.
Gosh, do I know that, living with 2 girls. Anyway.
April Ellis into the game. First year at JMA, 16 years old. Come from Bracknell Cobras, and then before that, I think she might have even been a Panther or a Silverback, or maybe both.
We'll let her decide that one.
Yeah,
as a timeout.
Sure, we'll get corrected.
Timeout has been called. 39.3 seconds remaining in the half. Ipswich lead 33-27, and we saw in the last timeout how Ipswich had broken the game open, leading by I think it was as many as 7. However, the Rockets have stemmed the bleeding a little bit and just possession by possession have chipped away. Yeah,
and I just sort of flicked through the stats, and I was a number of things pop out. Rockets are 3 for 18 from the three-point line, which is a lot of threes to shoot. Candella's 0 for 6, so she starts making a couple of those, and that could keep them in the game in the second half. But interestingly, free throws, Rockets 0 for 0 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And Ipswich 7 for 11.
Absolutely, but when you've got players like Cameron Taylor-Willis and Liv Forster who attack the basket at will, you're going to get those, foul shots going for you.
Yeah, and, totally agree.
Absolutely, and the Rockets, as we mentioned to start the second quarter, favouring the jump shot, mid-range and three-point range. Both teams shooting around 18% from three-point territory.
Yeah.
Just 5 made three-pointers in the half. Here is Goodser.
Interesting that Rockets in the whole time in man-to-man. Fallon from the corner.
Fallon for 3, that's good. And Alice Fallon, who actually leads the team in three-point percentage, 35%, getting her first 3 of the day. Margalina will go to the line as Yasin Bellambai showed a bit too much body, and for the first time today, the Rockets will go to the foul line.
Heather Maxwell, John, number 12, just caught an absolute stinger of a pass and then just made the next one. She's also playing netball for Surrey Storm in that program as well, and great to see dual athletes, as we call them.
Absolutely. The Bo Jacksons of the world.
That's an old reference.
We're showing our age there, aren't we? We'll stop that now as Margalina misses her first free throw, of course, following on from this game. Big game in the race for the playoffs as the Derby Trailblazers come to town to face the hometown Reading Rockets. Tipping off at 5. What a game that shall be.
Yeah.
As I'll be joined by Mark Hailwood and Ben Fisher for that one. Taylor Willis. Bounce pass, but the steal there from the Rockets. Final seconds, Nunes has to put up something, puts it up off the glass. And that will end an entertaining first half of action here at the Rivermead Leisure Complex as Ipswich take an 8-point lead heading into the half, 36-28. But Rockets still in this. They've hit their shots. They've matched Ipswich blow for blow. There was a slight bit in the second quarter where Ipswich went on their run. That's allowed them to have an 8-point lead, but Rockets definitely in this.
Yeah, and given up 8 offensive rebounds and turned it over 9 times and held Ipswich, shall we say, to 36. I think some of that, we'll say Ipswich have missed a lot as well. But, again, Rockets against that zone have had wide open looks that it can be a very dangerous tactic for Ipswich to stay in it. If Candela and maybe Jessie knock a few of these down in the second half, then we might have to see some different defence from the Ipswich team.
As Ava Batiste leads all scorers for Ipswich with 9 points, shooting 3 for 5 from the field. Olivia Forster has 7 points, supporting her, 2 for 6 from the field for the Rockets. Leading the way is Hermina Nunes with 6 points, but she's shooting 3 for 13 from the field. Rockets shooting 32%. As opposed to Ipswich's 39%. But both teams, we were speaking about turnovers, Matt, both teams actually scoring 11 points from each team's turnover. So it's fairly even, isn't it, in that aspect? But what for you, before we go into the half, what for you do Reading need to change in order to get the scoreboard ticking and a bit closer?
I think they need to be brave. I think they need to be brave to play one-on-one against this zone as well, because a lot of the time it's dribble and then pass, and we're getting a lot of deflected balls. You don't need to do that against zones. You know where they are. So I would say if they're just a little bit stronger in those one-on-ones, make sure you beat the play that you're going to go, and then you make the next pass. I think there's probably 2 or 3 times where we've wanted to clap to say the ball's moved really well, and we had a corner 3 from Siwa there, which is more of that. So shooting the shot off rhythm as well, and inside-outside pass. So I think we need to see the ball go inside better, cleaner, and then come out before they start shooting those early threes.
And that ends the half here at the Rivermead Leisure Complex. The Ipswich Basketball Club leading 36-28 over the Reading Rockets. We'll be back in roughly 5 to 6 minutes' time.
What is commitment? We have commitment is very difficult to level. Without commitment, sport is nothing. Without commitment, sport can be just recreational tool. Like if we want to have sport as educational tool, it has to be commitment.
So Slam Jam, it's a new initiative by Basketball England, targeted at 7 to 11-year-olds. It's about getting the children to have fun, to link basketball with a fun experience so that we can get lifelong involvement in the sport. And it's really focused on engagement and a fun, positive first experience. So it's not so much about the skill development side of basketball. It's really just about giving people a positive first experience of basketball. They're having fun, they're with their friends, they can develop at their own pace in their own time. So it's really developing on coordination, core strength, as well as basketball skills. So there's not necessarily basketball specific games, but they've got basketballs thrown in there. So they're working on dribbling, shooting, passing in a less structured environment than like a training session. And it's just focused on fun and getting primary school age children engaged. When they come to the first Slam Jam session, they get a t-shirt which they can keep. Each primary school they get some Slam Jam basketballs and a little goodie bag that the children can take home. And another thing, throughout the session, if we see like someone's doing really good at a certain skill or teamwork or being just nice and friendly to other people, they can get stickers. Good practice and sportsmanship as well as being good at the skills. So I think the reason this program is different is that there's a 12-week curriculum and there's different things to work on. And obviously, as a coach, you can kind of chop and change a little bit as is appropriate for the age group that you're teaching. But it just means that everybody's getting that same fun, first positive experience. Literally, we're just trying to get them to have positive experiences with basketball so that later on they can be maybe even just a supporter of the game. Go online, get in touch with Basketball England. They can also search Slam Jam for the local centres to them that run the initiative, and they can inquire and maybe even get a coach to come in and run a 12-week session.
Semi-final by 12 points and move through to the gold medal game. They're guaranteed a medal here.
And welcome back to the Rivermead Leisure Complex as the third quarter just about to begin here in a key WNBL Division 1 clash between Ipswich and the hometown Reading Rockets. Ipswich leading 36-28. John Hobbs alongside Matt Johnson. And Matt, it's been an entertaining half, as we mentioned. What were your thoughts going in, as we go into the third quarter, just your quick thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I saw the lineup and injuries and what Ipswich did yesterday, I was actually thinking this could be a really long game for the girls. I thought they might be adrift further than they are. I think it's credit to the coaching and credit to some real toughness about what they've done to keep defending. So, yeah, I think it's a really good start. And a great question from Big Sausage on the chat, John, that asks, what's everyone's favourite sausage? So
I'll go into that in just a bit. What we will do before the third starts here is we'll give a quick shout out to the sponsors the next time the ball is dead, and I will let you know of my favourite sausage, I guess. A peculiar question.
Great offence, huh? Great offence from Rockets straight out of that.
As we give a big shout out to today's sponsors. Well, we won't give them out because the ball is now live, but it's good. So here is Taylor Willis. Goodser again. Bit of a mismatch here inside with Maxwell. Goodser takes advantage of that off the back iron, and on the follow was Ozarobo. Here is Nunes. Ford back to Nunes. Pinging the ball around the perimeter nicely. Maxwell blocked by Taylor Willis. Here comes Ozarobo, who is fouled. And while we have a break in play, just to give a big shout out to today's game day sponsors for NBL and WNBL Live: Wilson, SportServe, Dynamic, Sport England and Sure Shot. I got there in the end.
Well done. Well done. Good start, actually, by the Rockets. Two really nice little moments that they've obviously worked on at half-time. And
Ozarobo, high arcing float, or hook shot, excuse me. Misses most of that. Here is a dot. Good recovery, though, from Ozarobo. And here comes Forster for Ipswich. Goodser was thinking about the three. Taylor Willis will put up the three, and she will knock it down.
Yeah, and that's the difference, isn't it? Rockets have defended really well, 3 possessions, and not got a good shot off on any of the 3. And then
Taylor Willis's first three-pointer of the day in 3 attempts. Here is Maxwell. Nice pass, the extra pass to a dot, who swings it out to an open Nunes.
Yeah.
Maxwell collects the offensive rebound, and Ozarobo with the rebound herself. Here is Forster. Bates.
Decision-making right now, isn't it?
Forster nearly had it stolen. In fact, it was stolen from Nunes. Nunes with great court awareness, and she lays it up and in.
Yeah, and first score for the Rockets as well from that. First mistake, really, from Ipswich.
7 points for Forster, but 5 turnovers as Taylor Willis misses the 3. And nearly a turnover there.
Yeah,
and there is the turnover. Ozarobo with great hands lays it up and in. That's beautifully done from Christabel Ozarobo.
Yeah, but, you know.
And another steal. This time Cameron Taylor Willis comes away with it. Goodser, the extra pass to Ozarobo. Back-to-back scores from Ipswich. Great find from Liv Forster.
Yeah, and that's the problem where Candela has to do so much for that team. She's now back handling the ball, taking shots, breaking the press, because Jessie and Nia have just given it up twice in a row. So 13 points.
Ipswich really breaking the game open, as you said.
Yeah.
As Goodser fighting for it. That's great hustle from Saruna Goodser. One of just 3 returnees this season. Of course, Susanna Raffiu, the other returnee, out for the season with a torn ACL. And a quick timeout from Coach Luque. He's seen enough, and Ipswich have blown the game open, their biggest lead of the game at 13 points.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because that's not on anything that is quality that they couldn't defend. Good 3 by Cameron Taylor Willis. But Ipswich just come out, just defended, turned the ball over, and the faces of the Rockets girls just kind of disappeared. And that's where I think Candela is leading incredibly well. She's on the floor for a loose ball. Too many other people just sulking about possession rather than just getting after it, not worrying about it. There's nothing you can do. And as they say in the trade, you need to have a windscreen wiper mentality. That play's gone, so what's on to the next one? So a bit of a mountain to climb now, because the Rockets need to keep this within 10, really. Need to get this within 10 by long time to go, but important for their mentality.
And while we have a break in play, it's been a big week for British basketball, especially for British basketball players based in the States. Of course, Esther Little, a former Ipswich player, winning the WCC title with Gonzaga. Savannah Wilkinson earning a spot on the All-AAC second team. Hannah Jump winning a second Pac-12 title, amongst others. It's been a huge week for women's basketball abroad, hasn't it?
Yeah, and great, isn't it? And you're watching some of the places, Ipswich in particular, where that started.
Absolutely, and Bates in the corner for 3. Of course, Esther Little joining Ipswich when she was 12, and now really doing things with Gonzaga, not averaging huge minutes, of course, in her freshman year, but still learning so much, and will no doubt improve as her years in Gonzaga go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cameron Taylor Willis gets blocked by a mixture of Maxwell and San Francisco, as Margalena with the defensive rebound.
Yep.
Of course, those accomplishments in the States, one of just many. There's so many more, and that's the great thing, isn't it, about how much British basketball is improving, is just the amount of talent out in the States that are accomplishing so many great things. That was just the tip of the iceberg that I mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bates, back iron 3, Ford with the rebound.
I think you can see in the way the Rockets are playing is it's almost like surprise that Bates is getting open rather than being focused on that aspect and knowing it's coming and taking it away and making them do something else.
Well, as said, we said at the start of the show that Ipswich had all the freedom, all the time in the world to put open threes up yesterday against Worcester. Can't tell you how many times Cameron Taylor-Willis was open in the first 2 quarters especially. But, when Ipswich are given that open shot, they will hit it.
Yeah.
Phelan, Nunes, looking for options. 3 to shoot.
Not
Nunes.
sure they know it. I'm not sure they know it.
Shot clock violation there. Nunes had it stripped as Olivia Forster, I don't think herself realised that the shot clock had expired. I don't think anyone actually knew it was expiring as well, as Forster wanted to drive the ball in transition.
Good sub as well. Tiona gave some real good spark when she came in. Jessie not really offering a lot offensive end at the moment. Looks a bit frustrated. Tiona going to come in and freshen this lineup up. They really do need to get scoring.
Absolutely. Tiona McKay had such a positive first half.
Good defence as well. Well done. Triple switch that one. Getting Ipswich into the last 8 seconds. Good defence.
And that is fantastic defence from the Rockets. Good team basketball. Here is McKay. Nunes. The extra pass, San Francisco in the corner. Big rebound from Nunes. Goes glass. And Taylor-Willis rebounds. That's Taylor-Willis' 7th rebound to go with 4 points. Here's Bates, another 3 off the back iron again. Bates now 1 for 4 from downtown.
Feels like they're all going in though, doesn't it?
It's amazing it's only been 1 3-pointer she's hit, actually. I thought it was a bit more.
Yeah.
Here is Nunes looking for options. Wide open, long 2, and that's good.
There you go. I said if Candela can get this offense going, if she can start making some of these shots.
4 for 14 from the field. Candela Hermena Nunes in her 4th season, as you mentioned, Matt, with the Rockets.
Yeah. And now working at a local marketing company, SQN in Henley, good partners of ours, alongside Ben Dixon, the men's captain.
Of course, we'll be seeing Ben Dixon a bit later on as the Rockets take on the Trailblazers in the NBL live game at 5 p.m. Join us for that. Here is Bates inside, count it, and a foul. Beautiful find from Cameron Taylor-Willis, and Ava Bates says thank you very much.
Yeah, and anyone that gets a chance to see that one again, you'll see that because they screen the shooter to go out, Rockets are panicking. They are desperate to run out there, and they both went out to the shooter, and Bates smartly just nipped inside and gets herself a 3-point play.
Absolutely, a 79% foul shooter, one of the leaders in the league from the stripe, makes no mistake. She averaged around 15 points in her senior year at Cameron. Nunes with the floater off the back iron. Big rebound there from Gray. Taylor-Willis off the find from Forster. It was a good look from Olivia Forster. And Cameron Taylor-Willis acknowledging that she couldn't hang on, and it will be a Rockets ball as they trail 49-32 with 3:50 remaining in the third. McKay to adopt. Nunes. Phelan was wide open, goes up and under. Beautiful footwork from Tyra Phelan.
Yeah. Tyra missed an entire year with an ACL reconstruction as well, John, and just finding her feet at the back end of this season, good to see.
Gray wide open, gets her own rebound off the missed 3. Great pass to Bates, and she puts it in. Great find from the 16-year-old Hannah Gray.
Yeah, good to see her letting it fly as well.
Yeah, all the confidence in the world. Here is Phelan. Nunes thought about the shot, but good defense from Forster. 7 to shoot. Phelan puts it up from the corner. That's short. Taylor Willis with the rebound. And again, Ipswich out in transition. And Olivia Forster with the layup.
Yeah, the issue you had there was both Naya and Tiona were stuck in the corner, so they couldn't get back to cover in transition. And Liv Forster cleverly spotted it and just leaked out.
Averaging 14 points, 2 steals, or nearly 3 steals a game. Olivia Forster in her first senior year in the WNBL, averaging 18 points for Coppleston in the WEABL. What a find, as we said in the second quarter, a player who came over from the greater Manchester area and now settling here in Ipswich. And Dot. Nunez spins, puts it up, hits the backboard, and Forster
there it goes again.
Is there again. Forster now battling with 2 Rockets players. She slipped on the floor. She wanted a foul. Pete Terrell in good position not to call it. The way she slipped on the floor as well almost looked like a travel, but
yeah, you're allowed to slide.
You are allowed to slide a bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
No.
Millie Pearson into the game.
Good defense
for Ipswich.
Yeah, good defense by the girls.
Forster driving, lays it up, gets it to go, and a foul. A circus shot from Liv Forster. And Ipswich now lead by 19.
Yeah, and Reading just can't score, can they? 34 points. They're stuck, and that's one of the issues, that they need to be able to get some scoring on the floor, and they're getting shots, but just not being able to knock it down. They've had to foul a lot and put players like Forster on the line, where she is not going to miss too many of those.
Absolutely, as we said, 70% foul shooter for the season. She doesn't miss many.
Yep. So Luque's gone for an entire academy group.
Forster nearly stole it off McKay, and there is the steal from Bates. Goes out of bounds, it will be an Ipswich ball. This is a great spell from the visitors. As Alice Fallon will check into the game, Bates will take a seat. You can see as well with Ipswich, smiles on their faces. They're enjoying this spell of basketball.
Yeah, I was just looking down the stats and seeing where Rockets would normally look for scoring.
Forster launches, but short. That's perhaps a bit ambitious as Ndot goes to the hoop. The extra pass to Ford, who hit 14 points last week, and she scores there.
Yeah, and I think it's probably only about a 3rd shot attempt.
4th shot attempt for Jessie Ford,
there you go.
5 points. As said, 14 points in the loss against London last week. Gray driving. Gray goes glass. Thought about it, but nothing doing. Pearson gets the offensive rebound. And the ball is stolen again.
Yeah, great effort by Alice Fallon, wasn't it?
Bodies all over the place. Here is Forster. Nice play there from Liv Forster. Doesn't get it to go. On the follow.
You've got a number of... so many deflections.
Absolutely some scrappy basketball in that possession there. Or in that sequence there, the ball goes out of bounds. Ipswich get possession, but yeah, no, very scrappy sequence of basketball from both sides. Forster. And the ball goes out of bounds. Pearson, or Fallon, excuse me, was on the blue line. And Rockets get a let off.
Yeah, Fallon's given this team a little bit of something else, so hasn't she, when she's been in?
Absolutely.
2 or 3 loose balls, knocked down the corner 3, defensively giving it some.
Ford. 8 to shoot. Ford puts it up and puts it in. Long 2 for Jessie Ford, who has 4 quick points in this 3rd period. Final seconds of the quarter.
Do they know? Well done.
And it's good defense there as Forster put up a prayer from mid-court. Nothing doing, but a fantastic 3rd period for the visitors as they take a 56-38 lead.
Yeah, tough one, wasn't it? 10-point lead for that one, I think, wasn't it, John, in that,
Absolutely,
in that
yeah.
quarter? And really difficult, I think, when your team, your leading scorers, so in the first 9 minutes of that quarter, Jesse, Candela, Carlotta didn't score, couldn't get anything on the board, so your three sort of senior scorers, especially in a group where you're already down 2 or 3 players, really need to step up now in this fourth quarter to give themselves just a little bit of hope. They only if they can get under 10 with 5 minutes to go, which is not out of the stretch of the imagination, then suddenly the pressure comes on the other way. If, however, Ipswich come out of this one, keep getting stops, which they will be confident they can do, and knocking down that 3, it's going to be a long way back for the girls. So let's hope that the Rockets, for the purpose of this game, can fight hard into this one. They've done good spirit, but need to have a little bit better execution.
Absolutely, and as we saw the highlights, now you're seeing us. As we start the third quarter, a 22-point lead for Ipswich. And, for Coach Drain, it's been a fantastic season for them. And, they're just putting big numbers up again today. Not as much as they were in the game yesterday against Worcester, but they're still making count, especially on the defensive end of things. Yeah,
I think Coach Luke will be saying, if you've got Ipswich scoring 56 going into the fourth, what do you think? He would probably say, not bad, we're going to be close. And if they'd had a half-decent quarter there, they're probably within about 10-12. Nothing they're going to be too concerned about. But Angela Bates says really enjoying the filming of this game, close-ups, replays and quality. Great to see. So that is something that we like to pass on to all the guys at the stream team and the crew, and they are busily nodding at how well they're doing, and they're not, are they? They're just ignoring the rest.
They were just ignoring us.
Totally
ignoring us. They're just ignoring us. They always do anyway.
It's a skill they learn.
It's great travelling all around the country with these group of guys, but I never get any recognition or anything.
Quite
Either
right
way.
Too.
Here is Nunes. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be an Ipswich ball. It last came off and dot.
Yeah, but you've got like a wing passing to a point guard under the bucket with Cameron Taylor-Willis stood there. That's the type of stuff that doesn't make sense. So that needs to be changed quick.
Taylor-Willis to Saruna Gudza.
Yeah, good
Gudza
defense.
Running into trouble, but finds an open Gray. Gray misses the layup. Here is a dot. Devereaux. Ford.
Yeah, and Jesse needs to shoot the ball way too much, just throwing it to people that are not scoring at the moment.
Absolutely, and Nunes, a lot of the offensive burden, it seems to be going on her as Gudza collects the bullet pass from Taylor-Willis. Fallon, an open 3, splash!
Yep.
Second 3 of the day for Alice Fallon.
I mean, like, Jesse's wide open, and they're not even defending it, and we've ended up, good shot by Charlotte.
Another miss, though, for the Rockets. Here comes Gudza. Gudza pulling the jets and puts it in. Beautiful play.
Nice move. Good timeout as well.
And you can just sense the Rockets' frustration as Ipswich's lead grows further, 61-38 in the early stages of this fourth period. And for the Rockets, of course, let's not forget, they're currently second from bottom in WNBL Division 1 and really need to get some wins on the board if they are to not get relegated. As we were mentioning, a top team in WNBL Division 1, especially with the program that they have, yourself at the head of it. But next week they've got a huge game against already relegated Nottingham Trent University, and still got 8 minutes of this game left, a lot of time, but it's a big few games for the Rockets, this, isn't it?
Yeah, and this wouldn't have been one that Coach Luca would have felt he could actually win, I don't think, with the way that the group is at the minute. He would have thought if we get this close going into the back end of the games, all the teams around us have got really tough run-ins as well, and getting back in the girls from Gaia and and Jade coming back into the team for next weekend is a real big lift. And there's been some really good spells of this moment as well. When you have a broken season like a lot of these teams do, it's tough, isn't it, to sort of find your rhythm at times. You've just got to try and do what you've got every time on the floor together. And that's the kind of thing that you need. You need the mentality to be in the right place, not to be worried, and just to be encouraged about small things all the time. So mentality will always lead everything else. And I think if they're going to stay in the division, if the club's going to stay in that division, well, it'll be the right thing for them to do it. So let's keep an eye out.
Let's see if Rockets can get a little run going here. Ford, there's the confidence, but she misses the three. Yeah,
but that's exactly what should be happening.
Absolutely.
There's a good scorer in there.
Hannah Gray. Beautiful footwork, Hannah Gray.
Great move.
Only studying her GCSEs in this year, but she has all the maturity in the world to attack the hoop there.
Yeah, but the way she is, I think Ipswich have done a terrific job with her because she's really confident at that age.
As Nunes spots in a three.
Yeah, makes her first one, and that's 1 for 8 for her now, and there's 7 minutes to go. It's probably too little, too late. But look at Hannah Gray, like, just attacking.
Going again, and a foul!
Yeah, but just the energy that she goes with, the enthusiasm, the mentality.
Hannah Gray going to the line for Ipswich. And for a team, mainly of under-19s, under-18 players on the roster, and many of them playing in the WEABL, such maturity. It's almost the same as what I was saying when we were watching Kohler play Cardiff. All the players, Jakimi Pearson was the oldest player at just 19 years of age. That just shows the quality that the champions-elect have. Of course, right now, technically, Ipswich are still league champions. They probably won't be for much longer, as Kohler will be playing Thames Valley later on. If they win that, they should get the WNBL title. Still hotly debated, that at the moment. And that's good, a long two for Jessie Ford.
Yeah, that's what I said, wasn't it? Like, if the senior scorers don't put the ball in the bucket, you're just struggling.
Good defense from Maxwell. And it stays with Ipswich. Of course, following on from this game, tipping off at 5 p.m, we will have the Reading Rockets against the Derby Trailblazers, as Mark Hailwood, one of the commentators for that game, is joining us right now and trying to get our attention. We've got a game to commentate on, though, Matt.
I didn't even see him.
He was trying to get your attention more than me, I guess. That just sums up me, I guess. I'm not sure. I do exist from time to time. Here is Ford. Maxwell. Back to Ford.
Again. Yeah, nice offense again.
It's a great offense from the Rockets. They get the offensive rebound. Here is Nunes. Back to Ford. Again wide open. Decides not to take the shot. 6 to shoot. Maxwell will shoot it off the back iron. Yeah, absolutely. Gray going at the bigger Heather Maxwell, and she is going to go to the line for 2. And one thing, Matt, that me and you were present when we watched Reading against Ipswich at JMA last season. That was when Ipswich had already won the title, but the mentality of the group was still there. They played fantastic basketball, won by a big margin. This Ipswich team still have that same mentality. That's something that is instilled in them from Coach Nick Drain, isn't it? That they have that fantastic team mentality, almost like a sisterhood. And it's just it's never gone, has it? It's still there, even though it's been, it's a different group of girls playing. Yeah, and I tried to Google how long Ipswich as a club has been going, because I think it might be one of the oldest clubs. Yep. And it gives you that sort of second and third generation of people, and Nick's coming in his time and certainly put a pep in the step of all the players in the area and giving them a real quality in both the boys and girls programs, which is fantastic to see. But one of the things that's probably under-mentioned is all the players on this team have a skill set. They're all able to score by themselves. They're all able to put the ball on the floor or to shoot it within their own
within their own environment. You rarely see players taking shots that they can't make.
Absolutely.
And I think flip that to the Rockets side, you've got a number of players that are struggling in just sort of knowing how to score, or being able to score. It could be an ability thing as well. So
and with Esther Little in Gonzaga, let's not forget that Ella Pearson is in Newbury College. Charlotte Redhead is at the University of Nottingham. Daniela Casey now not able to play this season due to her commitments in the capital in London, but still, a strong lineup here today as a jump ball is called, and the possession arrow goes the way of Ipswich.
And you could just see on the floor, like, I think a couple of times that the Rockets girls are a little frustrated and they're just being surprised by Ipswich. So good job by Ipswich in their defence. Nice move by Anna.
Nearly had Nunes on skates there as Gray puts up a 3. That's short.
Good rebound by Heather.
Heather Maxwell with, I believe, her 8th rebound of the game. For some reason our live stats have actually let us down and have frozen. Either way, we'll continue playing as Magdalena puts in a long 2.
Yeah, I think they're having live stats issues over on the table there.
Yeah. Either way,
on the Wi-Fi.
Good Rivermead Wi-Fi as a foul has been called. Very late whistle.
Yeah.
I think Bates actually stepped out of bounds instead. .456 remaining. The gap is 20. Straight away, Nunes strings a 3.
Yep. This is good, John. Like, this is a really important part for these girls. It's not just about the 5 minutes to go. It's about the way that they're going forward.
As Yessa Bellembai will go to the line for 2. And another, player, as we mentioned earlier on in the show, with WBBL experience or with the Essex Rebels, still actually goes to the University of Essex, does Yassa Bellembai. But plying her trade alongside her studies in Division 1 with Ipswich.
She's at Essex as well, John. Is that right? Yep.
Along with Ava Bates,
What a great relationship that will be.
Absolutely.
I think Coach Nick Drain will be saying thank you for that, and I should think Essex will be saying thank you for Cameron Taylor-Willis.
Absolutely.
As well.
Well, Cameron Taylor-Willis next season will be with the Essex Rebels.
Yep. Symbiotic, I think they'd call that.
Absolutely. Nunes for 3, a back-to-back 3.
I told you she had it in her. She'll be annoyed at this as well.
Harmina Nunes, with back-to-back triples. Hannah Gray keeps the dribble alive, but Tess misses the 2. Yassin Bellembai, who averages 10 rebounds, gets the offensive board and will go back to the line for 2.
Yeah, but what spirit that was, isn't it? Rockets just come down at 3 shots in a row. Everything looks different. Suddenly, Coach Drain is thinking subs. It's amazing. This is the beauty of this game. Ipswich yet to foul in the quarter.
Absolutely,
not needed to either, really, to be honest.
As Christabel Ozarobo comes back into the game, Alice Fallon takes a seat.
And one of the things that with Gaia and Jade, who are not here, that would be their mission, would be to attack the inside. It's been tough. I think Maxwell's done really well today. She's fought hard, rebounded, and so has Carlotta.
Here is Nunes, who a lot of the offensive burden has been on. Jessie Ford has stepped up in this 4th period, no doubt about it. Here is Ford on the ball now. Maxwell, nice play, San Francisco. They needed a bucket there.
Yeah, and that's just aggravating, isn't it? Oh, they've got it back somehow.
Yeah, San Francisco gets the ball back. It's terrific ball movement from the Rockets. San Francisco has a little bit of space there from that handle. Nunes. Ford, wide open 3.
It's a bit long.
And Taylor-Willis.
Great to see. Look at this. That's a real sign of a new modern player, that. Cameron Taylor-Willis gets a rebound.
Open as well, but off left.
But got the rebound and dribbles it up the floor. Oh.
Another offensive rebound. And Ipswich not giving up the possession. They're fighting for it as Ozarobo got that layup to nearly go and was fighting for the offensive board as a timeout has been called by Coach, I think it was by Coach Drain, but either way with 3:14 remaining and Ipswich leads 71-53, and what a half, or what a second half it's been from Ipswich. They broke the game open in that third period, and Reading, they're trying to get back into it in the fourth quarter, but as you were mentioning, it might be too little too late.
Yeah, no, most certainly is. You can't bring back 18 points in this time against a team of Ipswich's quality that are well managed as well, well coached. So I think, as I was saying, I thought with 6 minutes out, they needed to turn up what they were doing. And amazing what happens when you get a little bit of self-confidence. You start knocking down a few shots, which the team are able to do, and suddenly life looks a bit different. And you can now be frustrated at that little gap in the third, which meant we got down 22. If that had been 12 or 15 and you managed to fight it harder, this game is maybe 10 going into the last 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
And you've got two of your premier scorers making shots.
Definitely.
So always tough, and a credit to Ipswich. If you look on the floor now, every one of those players on the floor, you can see where their contribution has been. So, credit to the way. And when you look on the bench as well, there's 8, 9 girls there, and each one of them has put something on the floor today that is contributed in the way that the coach had expected. So,
absolutely,
good job, Ipswich.
And led by Cameron Taylor-Willis, who actually leads the team in minutes, rebounds, assists and steals. But everyone else has really contributed today. Here is San Francisco.
Yep, 4 seconds to go. I'm not sure if...
Yeah, 2 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to put up something. Shot clock violation.
Yep.
Margalina airballs it anyway.
But that's the difference. You've got one of the lower percentage shooters shooting at the end of the shot clock. We're not too sure what's going on. And the other side that hasn't happened for Ipswich. So
Bates. Yasser Bellenbai. Backs down Maxwell. Maxwell felt that. She took a charge to the nose there.
Yeah, tough one as well. I think if Heather had gone down, that would be offensive foul. I think she was really brave to take that one. I would definitely have fallen on my bum.
I probably would have been all the way in the car park, but either way.
You'd have been through. It would have been like a cartoon cutout in the wall.
It would have been.
April Ellis coming in,
Absolutely.
fresh off 16 points against Itchin in the WNBL. Good for her.
Absolutely, the number 6 for the Rockets, getting some valuable minutes in the WNBL. As Christabel Ozarobo will go to the line. And another player who, coming off the bench, really attacking-minded player, especially in transition, Christabel Ozarobo.
Yeah, I think she's from Luton, I believe. Yep. Settling herself well at Ipswich as well.
Ozarobo also kind of stepping into that role that Susanna Raffiou had last season, a 6th, 7th woman off the bench, really contributing solid minutes and attacking the basket, and an underrated three-point shooter as well.
Yeah, and it's I think if you're a young player like that, you're going into an environment where there's confidence to shoot the ball and everything else. That's good for you, right?
Absolutely. Final 2 minutes of this game in a second half that's been all Ipswich, apart from that possession there from Hannah Gray. As Heather Maxwell will take a seat, I think that'll be her day done, as she hasn't really gotten over that blow to the face from Yasser Bellenbai. Ford, Margalina. Nunes. 8 to shoot. Nunes puts it up, and Cameron Taylor-Willis gets the rebound. If the live stats were working, I'm pretty sure Cameron Taylor-Willis has a double-double now as Bates knocks down a 3.
Yeah, and
that's her second 3 of the game.
Just after Russell Bates says, "Let's go Ava" on the stream, she did let go of that one.
Absolutely. Flame on for Ava Bates as inside it goes to San Francisco. She puts in the 2. But a thoroughly good afternoon's work for Ipswich as Ozarobo wide open to timeout coach Luque. But a substitution, excuse me, as Jessie Ford will take a seat. And Tyra Phelan will come in for the final minute and 13 seconds.
Yeah, a good one for the youngsters to learn there. April just left the basket open.
Here is Ellis. Just about finds Phelan off a few deflections. Ellis gets it back. That's her third three-point attempt, and she makes it rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And she did that in the game against Itchin, and it's a great sign for all youngsters. Oh, Bates.
And Bates over Ellis for three herself.
Yeah. That's what, is that her fourth, do you think?
That's her third three.
Feels like more.
But the good thing about April Ellis, number 6, a player, playing on this stage, so confident. That was her third three-point attempt in a little under a minute on the court, and that just shows the confidence she has, and what a step going forward that will be for her. And here she is again on the ball, driving at Hannah Gray.
Yeah, and Ava, just too senior, too experienced. She just knows exactly what's going to happen here.
Oklahoma native with 4 years at Cameron under her belt. Averaged 15 points in her senior year, continuing her studies in Colchester this year.
Interesting, it reminds me of when Kat Sadler, Kat Lutz, came over.
Yeah, Kat Lutz, yeah.
That kind of just run off screens like that.
Absolutely, loved the three-pointer. Ava Bates now with 4 three-pointers.
Yep, and it feels like 20.
Absolutely, but shot clock turned off, so Ipswich, a thoroughly good afternoon's work for them. 2 wins from 2 this weekend. As Reading will now prepare as Phelan hits the 2, 7 seconds left. As Reading will prepare for a big game in the East Midlands next Saturday against already relegated Nottingham Trent University. But for Ipswich, they can still finish second in this league. They've virtually got a top 4 spot secured. They have won here today, 86 points to 60. A thoroughly good afternoon's work, as mentioned, and it all came from the third quarter, where they ballooned their lead to as many as 22 points.
Yeah, and I think Ipswich they'll be relieved for this weekend to get 2 good wins as well. They'll want to get back now and get some good rest tomorrow and look at their run-in, because that team there is a team that can challenge anyone in this division. So I think they've got the bodies, they've got the coaches, they've got the ability, they've got players at every position. They're difficult to play against, and a credit and a really nice view for women's Division 1 basketball as well. Really good to watch.
And for the Rockets, Coach Luque was saying pre-game that every game is like a final now. They've lost today, but their final will be next week against Nottingham Trent University. That is a must-win for them.
Yeah, an absolute must-win, and a few more games after that. And they need to keep themselves in check as well. They need to just say, there were some really good moments where if you came in and you didn't see the scoreboard, you'd think this Reading team are a top 4 team in the league.
Definitely.
But too often for too long, too many sort of slumpy shoulders and a little bit of frustration, which happens when you're on a bit of a losing streak. So that's one of the things that all the players can look at and say, well, how can I change those slightly difficult moments into something that doesn't go on as long and hurt us as much? That's all it is. But yeah, really, really good. Great to be here, John, and great that these games are going out live as well.
Absolutely, and don't forget, after this game concludes, well, this game has concluded, but after this broadcast concludes, stay with the Basketball England YouTube channel, as at 5 o'clock we will be giving you complete live coverage of the Reading Rockets against the Derby Trailblazers in NBL Division 1. My thanks to Matt Johnson. Join me, Mark Howard and Ben Fisher for the men's game in about an hour's time. But for now, goodbye.